So I had somebody come to buy some seats out of the bus, and they showed up in a cooler bus. Look at this thing. This is awesome. Is this a Chevy G20?
It is a GMC 3500.
Oh, man. Old school Thomas. Look at this thing.
That's a diesel.
Oh, it's so cool. Schoolie life. Already meeting other schoolies. Oh, this is so cool. This is goals. This is totally goals right here. That is so cool. Oh my God. All right, so here we have the bus. The lift is gone. All the seats are out. And the only rotted section of this whole entire floor, and I've gone and looked through everything underneath and up above, and the only rotted section of floor is kind of underneath this here and down around here. I'm guessing it's because of people having water on their shoes when they walk up the stairs in the wintertime. Most of that water probably comes off their shoes right around here. Bus doesn't get cleaned till the end of the day. Any holes, it soaks down into the wood. Well, I started tearing up the wood here and realized that they had glued the wood to the metal sheet under the floor. So it pulls the subfloor up with the wood, and I don't want to go through all that because metal materials are so expensive right now. I don't want to have to re-subfloor this. So what I decided to do was to check the whole thing out and see where it's rotten. And the only spot that I can see is this spot here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut all this out in this area here. So cut out the platform for the lift. I'm going to cut across the floor over to this first line here of seat tracks or wheelchair tracks here. I'm going to cut that out all the way down and then cut this section out here to the floor or to the stairs. And I'm going to replace all that wood, get some thin rubber matting or something to put over it to where it's the same thickness as the floor. And then I'm going to insulate over the top of this floor. That way I can take it out at any point that I need to redo my floor pan or whatever. I don't have to worry about everything being fastened, to the frame and stuff to where I have to nut everything on the bottom. Like, it's just going to be kind of a temporary thing because this bus is going to get revamped as time goes. I'm kind of in a time crunch. I have till the end of next month to get out of my apartment, so I have to kind of make it livable. So that's one of the things that I'm going to be doing. And after I do get that done, then I'll have to size out and measure out and find out how much plywood I need to get. And then I will be relaying that plywood down. I'll be fastening it to the cross members with self-tapping screws. I'll mark those out. And then I will be putting some glue down rubber mat over the top of the fresh wood. I will treat the wood before I do that. And then the floor will just be laid over the top of all this, including these tracks. I'm not going to try and take them up. It's too time consuming. Don't want to deal with it. So I'm going to get that and just leave those there for the time being, and then I'll deal with it. Since this is the only rotted section of floor, there's no rust or anything. I'm not really worried about it. The biggest worries that I have are how much this side of the bus leaks at the windows. So I'm going to have to pull the window seals out probably and reseal those. Because like in heavy rain areas and stuff, I'm sure it's going to be pretty bad. But this whole thing is, pretty beat up and leaky, it would seem. So it's going to have to be resealed. So I'll probably do that before I head out. But we're starting to head into some warmer weather. So that should be something that's not too hard to do. But for the start, getting this out of here is what I'm going to be trying to focus on. You can also see the front end damage has been fixed. It's got a new grille and valence, headlights, and turn signals. Just need to get a new front bumper and front bumper mounts. The frame wasn't damaged in any way. And then this will have a nice straight front end on it. And then the exterior is done as far as necessities for cosmetic repairs other than getting things resealed. So that'll be next on the list for exterior stuff. So, about to start cutting the floor. Going to get this section out here that's for the old wheelchair ramp so that I can get the wood out in that section I talked about earlier. So always make sure you have the proper safety gear on, ear protection, eye protection, gloves at minimum. These are not exactly the best example of gloves, but they're better than nothing. So I'm going to be using a diamond cutting blade that will cut freaking absolutely everything, metal, wood, it doesn't care. And I'm going to just be trying to cut the fasteners holding the wood down and then prying it up so I don't mess up the subfloor too much. I already have a couple sections I'm going to have to fix, but I'm trying to do as minimal of that as I can because it all looks good from underneath, not any rot or anything like that. So I'm going to get to cutting, and I hope you guys, stay tuned and see what I do. Alright, so what I'm doing is I'm going to cut it along here so that I don't ruin the structure of the door frame. And then I'm just going to smooth that edge out to where it's not sharp, and then butt the floor right up to that, to where I don't have to worry about cuts or anything like that. And the structure is still going to be there. So yeah, I'm going to slowly cut this all the way across. And then once it's done, I will remove this piece. And then I can assess how I want to try and take this floor out, which is probably just going to be cutting the rubber evenly, cutting the wood evenly, and then trying to cut these fasteners and stuff out to get them out of the way so I can just pull up the wood. I'm dripping sweat, y'all. It gets hot in this bus even when it's cold outside, and it's not that cold, it's warming up. But so far, look at my ass. Dripping. So far, accomplished a lot. Let me flip this camera around. So I got that panel cut out for the wheelchair ramp, or for the wheelchair lift. Exposed all the wood underneath. And it looks like just right at the edge it's a little bit rotted. And then right in this area here is the only rot. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it pretty much right along here and just remove all that forward. Just bam, bam, and just redo that area, seal the floor, make sure it's done nice and good, and then just lay everything over the top of it, and that'll save me a lot of time on doing the floor. As you can tell, got a lot, but if I can get this camera to stop. But as you can tell, I'm 6'5" and standing up tall. My hair, when I have my afro, hits the ceiling. With my hat on, I'm still standing up straight. It's kind of pushing my hat down, but my head's not interfering. So I'm pretty sure that this ceiling is 6'6", And that means that I can add 1 inch of flooring and insulation and still clear my head and be able to stand up straight without rubbing my head on the ceiling. So I think once I get all this cut out, patched, repaired, sealed, that the actual act of putting the insulation and stuff over the floor is not going to impede my comfortability too much. So that's good. All right, so far we're making really good progress here. I've already removed some of the sections of the subfloor and the flooring. And as you can see, there's very minimal rust on the body except for surface rust. There's no rot anywhere. I saved the bits of the subfloor that I could. I'll seal around them. I want to buy as little material as I can. So almost all of the really rotten wood except for this corner here is all taken out. The subfloor is taken out. I'm going to have to mark my cross members so I can know where my fasteners go. I'm going to have to seal that gap in between the door and the floor there. But I mean, otherwise, this pissed me off when I was pulling the floor out. I accidentally cracked that fiberglass, so that kind of sucks. But making some good progress on getting this bad section out, and we'll see where we end up at the end of the day. Alright, so got all the floor out all the way back to here. Found the seam in the subfloor. So I just got to cut that little section flush there. And then I've got to cut this wood, finish cutting it, and pull that little bit left out. And then I just got to put down new sheet of some kind. I might even use pieces of that. But I just have to lay that down, put some more plywood over the top, make sure it's sealed, seam seal it, and then I can put my floor back over the top of that, and the whole rotted section is gone. There's a little tiny bit of rot on the edge there, but I'm not going to worry about that. I just need to get this done as quickly as possible. So, yep, making some progress. Making some progress on this. Well, she's getting there. Almost got all the rotted stuff cut out. I just got to get this last little corner piece out here, and then I can grab my new sheeting back there, patch the floor, measure my thickness, and then I will end up replacing. Whoa, out of focus. I will end up replacing the subfloor sheeting with this new 16 gauge aluminum sheeting over here, and then laying the plywood over the top of that. So, making some progress on Old Phoenix. All right, I got the first patch template done. So I will trace that out onto my aluminum and then cut that out. But that's the first piece, and then I just got to do that one up there, put them in, seal them. I got to mark cross members and stuff. So making some progress. Well, first floor patch is cut. I just need to fasten it and get to building the other two. This is a 16 gauge aluminum sheet. I decided not to use steel because I don't have to worry about corrosion in the future. So I'm going to leave the plastic on this. The other side is corrosion protected, so I think this will end up really good. I still got that to patch the rest of the floor. And then this puppy will be done. Well, y'all, I'm going to end the video here. Unfortunately, living in an apartment, my upstairs neighbor calls the city on me all the time for working on my bus, so I can only do it for a limited amount of time a day before eventually somebody's coming to talk to me. So I've done as much as I can for today, made as much noise as I can for today, so I'm just going to chill out. I did find a place to park the bus and work on it and park all my cars and stuff, so I will be coming back once I start working on that floor again. But thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe, drop a like, and let me know what you want to see and if you like these kind of videos.